We spend our lives climbing toward a summit of validation. We chase the promotion, the award, or the public nod of approval, assuming that once we accumulate enough of these rewards, our internal world will finally stabilize. But the Tao Te Ching offers a jarring paradox. It claims that receiving favor and suffering disgrace are identical. Both experiences deliver the exact same psychological shock to the system. The moment you accept a reward, you are tethered to the source of that reward. You are no longer an independent agent. You are now an appendage of the entity that validated you, instantly haunted by the fear of that connection being cut. You have no control over the erratic movements of the world. When the world lifts you up, you rise. When it loses interest, you drop. You have traded your steady ground for a spiked graph of emotional highs and lows. By making your peace dependent on others' opinions, you turn every social interaction and professional milestone into a threat to your stability. The text explains that this anxiety is built into the structure of the relationship. It defines favor as something that inherently moves from the high to the low. To accept favor is to accept a subordinate position. You are agreeing that someone else possesses the authority to grant you value, and by extension, the authority to take it away. This creates a one-way street of control. Your sense of well-being is no longer something you generate. It is something you must wait to receive from an external figure who holds the power to withhold it. Our modern status anxiety isn't actually about the criticism we receive. It's about the structural dependency we've created, the realization that we have outsourced the management of our worth to a party we do not control. As long as we use external metrics to measure our progress, we are choosing to let the world dictate our internal weather. This raises a deeper question. If praise and criticism are the arrows, what exactly is the target they are hitting? The text identifies the target as the body, or the ego, the carefully constructed identity we carry through the world. We treat this identity as our most precious possession, but it is actually a massive liability. Think of the labor required to keep this identity alive. You must feed it with wins, polish it for public view, and defend it against any slight. The problem is one of scale. A massive, rigid ego creates a massive target. The more specific and precious your identity becomes, the more ways the world has to hurt you. Our suffering doesn't come from the world's attacks. It comes from our own exhausting effort to protect a target that is simply too large to defend. If I had no self, what affection would I have? This isn't about disappearing. It's about severing your core worth from the heavy external armor of the ego. It is the practice of having nothing to lose because you have nothing to protect. If you simply drop the rigid image of who you are supposed to be, you become like mist. An insult or a loss of status has nothing to strike. It passes through you without leaving a mark. Removing the target of the self is the only permanent, structural way to end the cycle of anxiety. This internal shift has a profound external consequence. The text argues that the person who has solved this internal anxiety is the only one fit to hold power over others. The logic is simple. A leader who has no personal ego to protect can expand their definition of self to include the entire world. When you treat the community with the same care as your own body, the boundary between your interests and the public's disappears. With no small ego target to defend, you are immune to bribes or threats. The world loses its leverage. You are unmanipulatable. We usually give power to those who hunger for it, those who need the applause of the world to feel whole. But the text suggests authority is only safe with those who have no personal need for the world's approval. True sovereignty is not found in conquering others. It is found in the absolute freedom of no longer needing their favor.